Hi, I'm Karlene Punancy, immigration attorney. Today we're going to talk about how to buy a business with your EB-5 visa. By the end of this video, you will learn how to buy a business, what kind of business you should buy in order to have an EB-5 visa, and what are the pros and cons of different types of businesses. Stay with us and I will help you to understand how to work with the EB-5 visa. What kind of businesses should you look at when you want to invest in the United States to get an EB-5 visa? How should you look at the business? What are the advantages of buying certain types of businesses and other types of businesses? We will navigate the process and I will show you how. So just to recap, the EB-5 visa allows you to invest money in the United States to become a permanent resident. If you have over $1 million, $1,500,000, you can invest in a company, or you can buy a company, or you can create your own company and you can apply for your permanent residence. Or if you want to invest a little bit less, $800,000, less than $1 million, then you can invest in an area of high unemployment. So if you want to get your permanent residence, there are two ways that you can do so. You can invest $1,050,000 in a targeted area, or you can invest $800,000 in a high unemployment area. So can I buy an existing business in order to apply for the EB-5 visa? Yes, you can. You can invest in a company that already exists. You can invest over $1 million in that company, or you can buy the company outright for yourself and you can apply for your EB-5 visa. Now, it's very important that you check the business before you decide to buy it. Make sure you do your due diligence. Get an accountant, get a tax attorney, get whoever you need, a corporate attorney, and review the business before you decide to buy. We've had situations, we've had clients who have bought businesses and then they realized that there were problems with the business after the purchase of the business. They didn't have the clients that the owner mentioned that they had. They weren't making the income that they said. There were just certain problems. There were debts on the company. There were debts owed by the company. So it's very important that you review very well the business before you purchase the business. And make sure it's a company that can generate and can afford 10 employees. It's important that you have 10, not 9, 10 employees or more. If you do not have 10 employees or more, immigration will not approve the case. That's very important. Also make sure that when you purchase the business and you're purchasing the business from someone else, that the business, if you can keep the same name that the company had before, or you can change the name to a name that you like. But make sure that the previous owner is not the owner, but you're the owner. And if you want to work out a deal with that, the owner stays on, the previous owner stays on as a consultant, then that consultant becomes an employee. So it's very important that you structure the business in a way that when immigration does all its review, all the documents are in order. Sometimes clients have asked me, well, you know, I see a troubled business. It's having financial problems, but I'd like to buy it. I'd like to make an investment, and I would like to use that as my EB-5 investment for the permanent residence. Well, before you do that, make sure, again, that you do your due diligence and make sure that it's a company that you can grow. It's a company that you can invest, you have the money to invest into the company, to rebuild the company and make it a functional company. Again, make sure that you're able to put 10 employees in that company and make sure that it's a company that will allow you to grow and contribute to the community. Not a company that's going to take 10 years to rebuild, but a company that you can rebuild in an effective manner and that immigration will see that there is improvement and that you have the money and the capability and the knowledge and the know-how to make it a better company. Oftentimes people will ask, well, can I have a rental property as an investment in order to get my permanent residence? So you may own a big apartment building, or you may own an office building, and this is a huge building with many offices, and you're collecting the rent from all these offices. Would that qualify for EB-5? No, it will not. Immigration will not accept passive income as an investment for the EB-5 visa. You must have a company that has movement, there's movement of money, that is producing money, it has employees, it's a business that's contributing to the community around it, and in that way, immigration will more likely approve your EB-5. How about the EB-5 application? Is it a long process? Is it a complicated application? No, not really. It's not complicated. You must answer all the questions on the application. The application is called an I-526. It's not complicated, but it's very detailed, and you need to answer all the questions on the applications. You need to answer questions such as how you got the money, how are you going to invest the money, how are you going to create jobs, how are you going to make the company a better company. It's very important that you have an extensive business plan in order to apply for the EB-5 process. Make sure you attach that to your application and attach all the documentation for the company. The company has to be registered, the company has to have all its license, the company has to have all the structures that a normal company has. All these different aspects of the company must be put into the application in order for immigration to approve the application. What happens if I purchase a company for my EB-5 application process? I already submitted my application to the USCIS. Can I stay in the United States? The EB-5 application itself does not give you status. So if you're not on a non-immigrant status, let's say if you're not on an H visa or an E2 visa or some kind of visa, you cannot stay in the United States while your application for the EB-5 is processing. What most people do, they'll travel back and forth to their country. They'll enter the United States with a B2 in order to keep themselves current. And then they'll wait for the EB-5, the application to be approved. Once the application is approved, then the person can apply for their permanent residence. Once you apply for the permanent residence with the approved EB-5 application, then you can stay in the United States. And then you can get a work permit, you can get your Social Security, and then you can stay in the United States in order to wait for the green card. The application for the EB-5, the I-526, does not give you the green card. It gives you an approved petition, which allows you to apply for the green card with an adjustment of status application. So it's very important that you remember that. So if you apply for the EB-5, you submit your application to the USCIS, I-526, that does not give you status. What gives you status is when the application is approved and you can apply for your adjustment of status. During the time that you are waiting, you're not allowed to stay in the United States. You need to travel back and forth. Once you apply for the adjustment of status, you can stay in the United States. So these are things that we need to remember. Immigration will check to see if you have been living here illegally, if you have been traveling legally, if you were here on a temporary visa, if that visa expired, did you extend that visa, or did you leave the country in order to stay legal? All of this is important when you apply for the EB-5. I'm Karlene Punancy. I've been an immigration attorney for 35 years. I'm here to help you. Subscribe to our channel and follow us. We have more videos to help you. For our next video, check the link above or the information below. Follow us.